Logan, you look a little off. What happened?
I had another terrible meeting. I don't know why I'm so bad at this. Last week, everyone had to share their thoughts on a new project.
And you had 4 phrases you could have used right there. You used none of them.
I had 0 phrases. I had panic. My manager was right there, and a few people I didn't know well.
Which is exactly why people go quiet in meetings they actually understand.
I had thoughts. Real thoughts. But when it was my turn, I said, I have no objections. And I sat back down.
I have no objections.
That's what I said.
Logan, that's what a lawyer says in court.
I know that now.
Did anyone say anything?
My manager just kind of looked at me, and then the meeting moved on. I don't think I said another word for the rest of the hour.
Okay, that's the 4 phrases problem exactly. One sentence in the wrong style, and suddenly you don't say another word for the rest of the meeting.
This is Easy English with PJ. I'm Logan.
And I'm PJ. Let's get into it. So, Logan, your courtroom moment. Let's start there. What were you actually trying to say?
I was trying to say, I agree. Or, I'm following you. I get it. Something like that.
Right, and that's a totally normal thing to want to say in a meeting, but I have no objections sounds like you're about to bang a gavel.
I felt like I was about to bang a gavel.
Here's what you actually needed. Something like, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page, or just to make sure I understood correctly. That's it.
On the same page. Like a book?
Exactly like a book. Imagine 2 people reading the same book. If they're on the same page, they're looking at the same words at the same moment. So when you say that in a meeting, you're saying, I want to be sure we're looking at this the same way.
Okay, that's a really clear picture.
And here's the thing. It sounds confident, not confused. When Hyunwoo first started working at a company in California, he used to just nod. Even when he wasn't sure, he nodded through 3 full months of meetings before he realized the team thought he was agreeing to things he didn't understand yet.
That sounds exhausting.
Very. But the other trap, and this one is sneakier, is when you think you understood, but the words meant something completely different.
Okay, what do you mean?
So Carlos was in a meeting. His manager said, let's table this for now. And Carlos thought, great, we're putting it on the table. Like, we're going to deal with it right now. So he opened his laptop and said, okay, I'll start.
Oh no.
And the whole room went quiet. Because in American business English, to table something means the opposite. It means we're setting it aside. We're not talking about it now.
Wait, bring to the table means bring it in, but table it means push it away?
Yeah, English is wild. And one more thing, that's American English specifically. In British English, table it can actually mean the opposite. Bring it up right now. In American offices, table it almost always means we're coming back to it later.
So Carlos agreed to do something he wasn't supposed to do?
He tried to start a presentation no one was ready for, and the meeting just kind of stopped.
So what should he have said?
Something like, actually, I just want to make sure I understood correctly. Are we moving forward on this now or setting it aside? That one sentence saves the whole thing. You're not announcing that you're confused. You're checking like a professional.
Because it doesn't say I have no idea what just happened.
Right. It says, I want to be sure. Completely different feeling in the room. Let's hear you actually do it. Pretend we just got to a new topic and you're not totally sure what's being decided.
I want to confirm that we are aligned on the same page in terms of the project scope.
Stop. That's a lot of words for a simple thing. You just made it sound like a legal document again.
Fair. Let me try that again. I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. Are we talking about the budget or the deadline?
That's it. Exactly right. Before we move on, think about the last meeting you were in. Was there a moment where you said yes or nodded, but you weren't totally sure what you just agreed to?
Just sit with that for a second. We'll come back to it.
All right, new situation. You're in a meeting, someone brings up a topic. The meeting jumps to something else, and you're sitting there thinking, wait, we never finished that.
That happens in every single meeting.
Every single one. So what do you do?
I used to just let it go because I didn't know how to bring it back without sounding like I was complaining.
Right. A lot of learners do this. May, who was working in a sales meeting in New York, used to raise her hand and say, "Excuse me, but we did not finish the first topic." And technically, that's not wrong. But in the room, it felt like a correction. Like she was pointing out that everyone else had made a mistake.
Oh, that's a completely different message than what she meant.
Exactly. What you want instead is, can we circle back on that? Picture someone walking in a big circle. They go forward, they do the whole circle, and they come back to where they started. That's what circle back means. You go forward, handle other things, and then return.
So it's not saying you forgot something. It's just asking to return to it.
No blame, no correction. Just, I'd like to come back to that. And here's the difference in the room. Listen.
Okay.
First version, we never finished talking about the deadline.
Second version, can we circle back on the deadline?
Same information, completely different energy. The first one sounds like an accusation. The second one sounds like you're helping the meeting stay on track.
The second one actually sounds like you're doing the group a favor.
Exactly. And if someone says, we don't have time, you say, no problem. Can we circle back on that in our next call? You've still made it clear it matters. You've planted the flag without pushing. Try it. Same scenario. We skipped over the budget an hour ago.
Going back to what we discussed regarding the budget, can we revisit that topic at some point?
Too long. And revisit that topic at some point sounds like it might never happen.
Okay. Can we circle back on the budget thing from earlier?
Perfect. That's exactly how it sounds. May figured that out by her third week. She said it became her favorite phrase in any meeting.
Quick one for you. Next time you're in a meeting, notice one phrase you use without thinking about it, something short and automatic. Ask yourself if it might land a little more blunt or a little more like a correction than you mean it to.
You don't have to change it yet. Just catch yourself using it.
Can I take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So getting into the conversation when you have something to say. This was my biggest problem. Not because I didn't know what I wanted to say, but because meetings move fast and there's never a clean pause. Somebody finishes a sentence and 3 other people jump in and you're just waiting and waiting.
And then the topic changes.
And then the topic changes and your moment is gone. And you sat through the whole meeting without saying a word, which is the worst feeling.
So what do?
You don't wait for perfect silence. You create your own entry point. You say something like, "Can I jump in here?" And you say it as the previous person is wrapping up, not cutting anyone off. You don't wait for complete quiet. You move in slightly before it.
That sounds scary to a lot of learners.
It sounds scary. But once you try it, you realize that's just how conversations work in real meetings. Nobody waits for complete silence. They step in at the transition.
And that phrase, "Can I jump in here?" You can say it in under 2 seconds. It gives you the floor without cutting anyone off rudely.
Right. You're stepping in at the transition, not cutting someone off mid-sentence. And there's another one I really like for when I have an idea, but the conversation already moved past where I wanted to add it. Something like, "I don't want to lose this thought." That's it. Just that. And people stop.
Because it sounds like you've been paying attention, and something important came to mind.
Which you have been. You've just been waiting for the right second. And one more. This one is great when you want to connect your idea to what someone just said, instead of starting from scratch. Something like building on what you said, and then your point.
That one is so smooth because you're not interrupting, you're continuing.
Exactly. You're not starting a new conversation. You're extending the one that's already happening, which shows you've actually been listening.
Which you have. Now people can see it. Let's hear you actually do it. Pretend I'm mid-sentence and you need in.
Sorry. Wait, can I say something?
That one still sounds like an interruption. Try the actual phrase.
Can I jump in here?
There it is. See the difference?
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Think about this. Have you ever been in a meeting where you had something to say, but you waited so long for the right pause that the topic changed?
I've done that more times than I can count.
Here's the honest question, though. What do you think actually would have happened if you'd said it anyway, even a little late?
Probably nothing bad. Probably nobody would have even noticed it was late.
That's usually the real answer. The risk is almost always smaller than it feels in the moment. Okay, final section, the end of the meeting. Because how you exit a meeting actually matters more than most people think.
Really? I always thought once it's over, it's over.
Here's the thing. The last 2 minutes of a meeting are when next steps get decided. And if you've been following but not completely sure, this is your last chance to confirm. Because what happens after a meeting is people do things. And if you do the wrong thing, or you wait when you should have moved, that's a problem.
Yeah, I've definitely walked out of meetings with no idea what I was actually responsible for.
So this is the phrase. Just to make sure I'm clear on next steps, and then you say what you think you're supposed to do. Like, just to make sure I'm clear on next steps, I'm sending the updated draft by Thursday, right?
That's really good, because you're not asking. You're confirming. You already sound like you know what's happening.
And if you got it wrong, someone will correct you right there in the meeting, which is exactly where you want that correction to happen, not in an email 3 days later.
Okay, what if you're not sure what anyone was supposed to do?
Then you use this one. Before we wrap up, can we do a quick summary of who's doing what? That phrase works in almost any meeting. It helps everyone in the room, not just you, and most teams will usually appreciate that.
You sound like the most organized person in the room.
That is exactly the goal. And one more, for when you just want to close warmly and professionally. Something like, "This was really helpful. Thanks, everyone." Simple, warm, takes 2 seconds.
And it lands so much better than just going quiet and closing your laptop.
So much better. You leave the meeting sounding like you know what you're doing. Try it. You're wrapping up and you're not sure it's actually your task.
So I think I'm supposed to reach out to the client, right? Is that right?
That sounds like you're guessing, not confirming.
Let me try the next steps one. Just to make sure I'm clear on next steps, I'm reaching out to the client by Wednesday.
There you go. You're not guessing anymore.
One quick thing about American meeting culture. People usually expect everyone to participate at least a little. If you're completely silent the whole time, people sometimes wonder if you're checked out, even if you understood everything perfectly. One phrase at the right moment puts you in the room. That's all it takes.
Let's bring it together. You started this episode with Logan in a meeting, looking very calm, saying, "I have no objections," while internally thinking, "Please don't call on me again."
That is painfully accurate.
And what we found out is the problem wasn't Logan's English. His English was fine. The problem was the style. He had formal words in a casual room, and the gap between those two things is what made it hard. Carlos had the opposite problem. He understood the words, but not what they meant in that room. And May had the right message, but the wrong delivery.
3 different problems. same solution.
Right. And the solution is never a longer sentence. It's always a shorter, more natural one. One gets you into the conversation. One keeps you in it. One makes sure you leave knowing exactly what you're supposed to do.
If I'd known these 4 phrases back then, I probably would have spoken 3 or 4 more times.
Here's your challenge. Before this Friday, get into one real meeting, video call, or even a class, and use at least one of these phrases. Just once. That's the whole challenge.
And tell us in the comments which one you used. Was it the same page one, the circle back one, the jump in one, or the next steps one? We genuinely want to know which one felt most natural.
If this gave you something you can actually use before your next meeting, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New episodes every week to help your English work in real life.
And share this with someone you know who goes quiet in meetings, not because they don't understand, but because they don't know what to say.
And remember, one phrase is enough to go from invisible to in the room.
Pick your phrase before your next meeting, not after.
See you in the next one.